Hello folks, welcome to Sailing SV Ruby with Captain Bill.
Angelica, hello.
Today's video is a project video. I'm converting our Saloon table on our 1984 Catalina 30 from the original table. There was two styles of the Saloon in a 1984 Catalina. There was the pedestal table like I have, basically a pedestal with a table, freestanding table in the Saloon area, U-shaped seating area with a table in the middle. The other model was a drop-down table from the forward bulkhead. I have the U-shaped benches around a pedestal table. Now that original table had to be large enough so when that table, when you remove the table off the pedestal, remove the pedestal and drop the table down, it sat in a space that had catches on it, like a small little shelves where the table sat on that surface where the cushions were that turned those Saloon seats into a double bed.
Before it's time to go sit down.
Right.
Now you can walk around.
Yep. So the disadvantages of the original table is the table, because it had to be large enough to fit in that area to convert to a bed, it was large, so large that it was awkward to scoot yourself around the table and use those benches. So much so that you rarely use those benches because it just was a pain. So I always wanted to have a smaller table. But then you had the problem, okay, if I replaced the table, if I got rid of that large size table and replaced it with a smaller one, how would I make up a bed? Well, one solution would be to keep that tabletop on the boat, and you just use that for when you turn it into a bed. Well, that's not practical because the original tabletop is made of pressed wood. It's very heavy. It's really bulky, so it wouldn't store away well. I went with a small table. You'll see it. I'll share the Amazon photo, the Amazon product display here in the video. It's a round, maybe 18 inches diameter teak table. It's nice, perfect size. I got a connector for that table that just screwed to the bottom side of the table that actually fit on top of that PVC pedestal. It's very simple. A few screws in that. It fit perfectly. I had to put a little tape on the pedestal, the PVC pedestal, to make the fitting very tight. You'll see that in the video. But anyways, the table is the perfect size for a couple. Next time in 27 years of owning Ruby, using the table area, using the Saloon tables this year, it's a great upgrade. I had to come up with a solution of creating that table space area into a platform to secure or hold the cushions to make that small double bed. Well, I used some like bed slats, and you'll see that. But in the end, it was a pretty simple project. It was a 1 day, 2 or 3 hour project of getting it all done after I thought through the process and what I needed. And it came out pretty well and very simple. And we're sharing that with you. You Catalina 30 owners would benefit from this. Enjoy the video, folks. Thank you for being here. This is not going to be a long one. I think the lead in here is going to be longer than the video itself. So let us know what you thought about the project. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hello, folks. So a little project I want to share with you. Here we are in Sailboat Ruby. Miss Angelica. Boat's a little bit of a mess because this was a project today. We're getting ready to leave on our vacation. It's one of the things I'm trying to wrap up. We like to use this area as, a lounge area, right? Kind of, if you're familiar with the Catalina 30. This version of the Catalina 30 has the horseshoe-shaped Saloon seats, and it came with a table that went on a pedestal here. I've had that for the boat's 41 years old. It's been there the whole time. I've owned the boat for 27 years. It's always been a nuisance to me. The table is large in length and width, so it overhangs those cushions. So you really don't get to use those seats that much because it's such a pain to kind of scoot around that table. So I always wanted a smaller table. So this year I bought a teak table. It's smaller and it's perfect size. $91 on Amazon. And I found this It fits the PVC, 3.5-inch PVC pretty well. There's a story with this. Originally, the boat came with a metal pipe, and it was all rust. The paint was coming off. I went into Home Depot to buy paint for the original post, and I got the paint and brought it home and realized when I went into Home Depot, I left a post in the store. I went back the next day, and it wasn't there. Nobody knew anything about it, so I lost it. But if you ever want to, 3.5-inch PVC pipe fits right in there beautifully. I put a little tape on the top of that because it's a little smaller than that, and I want it to fit nice and tight so it wouldn't fall off, and nice job. But anyways, the smaller table does not span across those supports that the original table was made for. So, to turn this into, put the cushions down, turn this into like a full bed or something, or a place to lounge. So I'll show you the frame that I just built. Very simple, fast, easy. Okay. All right, like I said, very simple. These are, 1x4s, kind of, pine, kind of like bed slats. I bought at Home Depot. Four one way, 2 the other way, just to keep them from falling and moving. Those are stainless bolts. I have wing nuts on the underside of that. Right. I could actually get a couple more, but I think with the weight. Yeah, I undercounted how many bolts I would need. I actually maybe need 2 more here, one there. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference, so we'll see how it works. But instead of putting 4 holes in this original mounting support frame there, where the original table went, I just put a hole there and a hole here, just to drop a couple of bolts through to keep it from sliding. And I didn't even get washers for those. First time putting them in. Let's see. Come on, what the hell is it? 1, 2. All right, so I just longer bolts than these here. I just put a hole through that. No need for no need for another brace, but I will need another. So what I can do with these, because they're wing nuts underneath, I could break this down pretty quickly to easily store it someplace on the boat. Much easier to store that, those 1x4s, than the big table, which is now in my storage unit. So we'll put the table on, and then the cushions. If putting the table on top brings the cushions up too high, then the teak table will have to go back in the quarter berth and back for storage when we're using this. But even that's not a hassle. There's plenty of room for it. It's light. So there's the table, laying nice and firmly on top of that. I made the opening good enough so the support for the PVC underneath, fits. It's not going to move. We're going to try the cushions now, with and without the table, and see how we like it. Yeah, we're hoping with the table, the cushions will look all right. If not, we'll take the table out. Hello, Miss Angelica. All right, so there we are. The cushions fit, obviously. I knew they would fit. My concern was how raised are they? And they're really not raised at all, or enough to be concerned about it. They're popping up a little bit in the middle. That's a little tight, but they're always kind of like that. When we have it down like that, we obviously store. When we're traveling, we're storing stuff there. It's suitcases or, bags, travel bags, not necessarily suitcases. So that's a win, folks. And also, I'll show it in another video. I have a igloo cooler that fits right under there, right on top of the bilge cover. We store, cases of water and beer under there. So that's a win. Very simple project. And I'll try to show a video in the future when this is all cleaned up. All right.